Hey, how's it going? I'm Ralph of Los Golferos, and welcome to the Salud Golferos podcast. Really excited. Episode 1. We got some good stuff planned for you guys here in season 1. And it's only right that I kick it off with my fellow founders. Unfortunately, not all of them could be here, but we're here. We're having fun, having a little drink. So, guys, salud. Thanks for joining me. Cheers. Cheers. So yeah, with this podcast, guys, we're looking to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, talk a little bit about what we've done in the business, what we've got going on, and then use it as an opportunity to kind of give you guys some perspective, talk to some of the friends that we've made with the brand. So with that, I think we kind of have to take it back a little bit to the people who don't necessarily know who we are. Raul, you kind of want to take us back in time a little bit and talk about who we are?
Yeah, definitely. So, Los Golferos, this actually started with two members, really. It was Hector, who's not able to make it because of some stuff that's going on in his house. We love you, bro, but damn, man.
If it ain't one thing, it's another.
If it ain't one thing, it's another at your place. But he's taking care of some stuff, taking care of the family, and myself. So Hex and me started golfing a while back. It was our therapy, if you will. So every Saturday or Sunday morning, we would be the first guys over at El Carrizo Golf Course in Silmar, California. And we were walkers. We always loved walking the course and, shoot the shit, talk about life, work, family, kids, the works. It was, like I said, our therapy session. And that was kind of the birthplace of Los Golferos. In a weird way, we never thought this was going to be a brand. We never thought it was going to be whatever the heck we are nowadays, but we kind of came up with the concept based on something that I saw, and of all things, it was Scotty Cameron making a Sarape golf bag and Sarape colorway golf towel. I've always been a big fan of Scotty's. I've always been a big gearhead when it comes to golf. And seeing Scotty, even though, props to Scotty. I love Scotty Cameron's. I love the Southern California culture that he kind of puts in there, whether it's surf culture, whether it's hot rod culture. And look, even Latino culture when he threw that Sarape golf bag and golf towel. But, a little part of me was like, should Scotty Cameron really be doing this?
Where's the Brown Brothers at?
I know. Well, they're all working out in San Marcos in the warehouse because I know you know a couple of those guys out there.
Yep. Our people in the warehouses. Bro.
Yeah, nope, they're doing good things out there. But it was one of those things where it was cool, but I was like, all right, man, if we're gonna be represented in the golf community, what about a couple of brown guys trying to introduce something like that?
You got to put a little soul into it.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Or
so
as we say, a little chile in there.
A little chile
spice. Yeah.
So that was kind of the interesting take. And look, the Sarape golf towel is nothing new. I honestly don't even know if it was Scotty Cameron who did the very first one or decided to bring it into golf. But, we saw some iterations of it, including one that was kind of close to home. Hector and I, like I said, we played out Carrizo. That was our home course where we didn't want to drive too far away, or it was an easy tee time for us back in pre-COVID days where you can actually book around an hour before you wanted to play. Things that don't exist. But we came across somebody that was using Sarape material. It was a textile. And we're like, hey, man, this is really dope. And we actually purchased a couple of these towels because we thought it was really cool to have somebody that was brown doing these things.
Right.
And Hex and I bought the towels, and Hector, for some of you guys don't know, or Hex as we call him, he is definitely a believer of feel good, look good, play all right, I guess. But look, he's a classy individual. Always has nice, immaculate golf clothes. His bag, his everything is always on deck. And he is one that took the golf towel, played around with it, used it, and threw it in the washer. And that was not a good experience for Hex.
What happened, Raul? What happened?
It turned into something.
Deteriorating might be a soft word for it,
Hey,
honestly.
you know what? Yeah, it did. It did without a doubt. And Hex, being the type of guy he is, told the person who sold his towel, like, "Hey, bro, we loved it, but kind of fell apart." The guy was really like, "Oh man, shouldn't have washed it," type of thing. And Hex was like, "You know what? Screw this, man. I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to make it better." So look, if anything, our business has really been, kind of the old Bill Gates mantra. I saw an idea and I just made it better. Right. Hector saw an idea and he just made it better. So him being the mad genius, if you will, of the brand, said like, "Hey, you know what? Let's make a golf towel." And I was like, "Let's do it, bro." And at first it was just like for us. It was supposed to be friends and family type of thing. We did a little bit of research. He found the material. He was working on some other projects. Hex is a Renaissance man. So at the time, he was making custom, bespoke, if you will, aprons for barbers. The barber community, especially out here in the San Fernando Valley, is massive. And he had some connections in the barber world, if you will. So he was making these custom aprons for barbers, and they had a little sauce, a little chile, as we like to say, as Serge mentioned.
I need one of them, Hex, by the way. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? He still owes me one. So not necessarily a barber, for the carne asadas we throw, it always comes in handy. But anyway, he was making these aprons and he was using exotic looking pleather, the croc, the avestruz. And that's where that was the inception point. He took the sarape, infused it with our twist, which is the exotic pleathers. We played around with different ways. He tried magnets. We tried just poking a little hole, and then we're like, dude, let's make it a little bit sturdier. And that's when we ended up with the rivet that we hand pressed. And it kind of flew from there. But we thought there was something missing. We thought there was an element that was not there yet. And we're still working on it. And then come you. And I know you had just come back from college, from NAU. Go what? Lumberjacks?
Go Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks?
Do I look like a lumberjack? No, but hey, let's go Lumberjacks.
And I know one of the things that you had mentioned, you were trying to get back into golf. I invited you out here. I mean, you know that story. And we showed you the prototype of what we were working with. But I know this was one of your passions. You wanted to work on social media a little bit more, the podcast, hence the inception of Salud Golferos. And I kind of brought you into the fold, introduced you to Hex. That was the first time you actually met Hex when we were out playing golf. And the concept was there, man. We played with the original towels. We have the original. I still have one of the original prototype towels, and we just wanted to tweak it. And we started rocking just the plain towels in our bags, and people started like, "Whoa, where'd you get that from?" And we're like, "Oh, dude, it's friends and family. My boy Hex over here made them." And that's where I kind of saw like, "Hey, wait a minute. There's a little something here."
Yeah.
And I've always been the find a way to make that extra dime, because golf is not a very economical sport, especially when you're a moron like I am and like to buy all the new stuff that comes out. Like, who needs only 4 or 5 pairs of golf shoes? You need a lot more than that. And that's where I'm like, dude, let's run this as a business. Ran it by you, ran it by Serge. For many of those that don't know, Serge is my brother-in-law. Hex has been a brother from another mother. I've known him since we were like 2nd grade. And then my younger brother, who makes an appearance here and there whenever he decides to show up.
He's a ghost.
He's a ghost.
That's what I was about to say.
Fantasma, where's he at, bro?
Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not.
So it turned out to be like, hey, you know what? Let's run with this business and try to take it into a business. And I was really the one that wanted to run with that. I know for most of us, it was just like, sure, a hobby, little side type of thing. But I honestly saw the vision beforehand, and I thought there was something there. But that's the inception. But the name Los Golferos, that's kind of an interesting one because, as I mentioned, Hector and I we've been golfing, man, together for a while. I think honestly, like we started golfing together maybe like in 2015.
About to date yourself, bro. That was
Oh,
9 years
bro,
ago.
I'm old, bro. I'm old.
I'm the baby of the group, so.
Oh, without a doubt, man. I mean,
I still remember you telling me about that golf course out in Sylmar, out by where that golf.
the Cascades. Yeah,
man.
Cascades no longer exist.
You
Now
were
it's
telling me about that
apartments.
place. Like I vaguely remember, and you fuckers were all telling me about how I used to love playing in that.
Yeah,
in
that
area.
was that pour some out for the homie for the Cascades. That was an awesome golf course, but it was the wrong time, man. That place would flourish right now, but it was just the wrong time for that course.
Yeah.
But kind of coming back to it, like we had been golfing and we were getting other people into golf. We were always introducing the game to other people's, and we kind of had like this little homebrew tournament. And of all things, this is listening to the Save Par podcast.
Shout out
Shout
Save
out Save Par,
Dom
boys. You guys, you were on there representing Los Golferos with a good friend of ours now, Don from Kingsman.
Kingsman, there we
And
go.
well, I was on a flight just recently. I was listening to that episode, and it was funny that he talked about where the origin story for the name Kingsman came from, and it's almost identical to ours. Los Golferos was the name of the Instagram group that Hector, myself, one of our good friends, Carlos Sanchez, Sanchez Tacos, amazing cat. He kind of just threw it out there. Like, yeah, that was our group name, Los Golferos. And at the time, Hex was operating, he owned a vape shop. And him and I, like I said, we would get the 6 a.m. tea time, go into the vape shop at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. after we got our round in. And then the guys are at the shop, they're like, ahí vienen los pinches golferos. So it kind of stuck. That's where the origin of the Instagram group name we had came from, because they were making fun of us. Like, we're brown playing golf, and the other guys didn't really get it until they got it. Like, some of those guys that used to joke around with us are now highly addicted to golf, and they got
I'm
it.
included. Honestly, I'm one of those guys.
Oh, dude, we were trying to get you to golf for God knows how long. It wasn't till the infamous pandemic that turned a lot of people into golfers.
It was
the golf gold rush.
We went that the February right before everything closed, and as soon as we were playing Vista Valencia, I got hooked on it. Like, it was just like immediately, it was just a lot of fun. Frustrating. The alcohol helped a lot, but frustrating. But I still enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, that was crazy. The bug bit you hard. Like,
no joke. Every weekend, all I want to do is outplay. If I can get a day off, I want to make sure to get a tea time sometime.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, and I think that kind of speaks to this group. Like, we're not professionals by any stretch of the imagination, but we have a pretty good variance of like the type of golfer that we all are. Like, we have you, who's been playing like 15 years now.
Oh God, bro! Like, you want to talk about aging? I mean, the first legit round of golf I played in, should I say? I wasn't even 20, dude. I was barely gonna turn 20. I mean, just because I've been playing for this long doesn't make me a good golfer.
Not any of us. Yeah,
I'm a crap golfer, but I've enjoyed the game since, like I said, my late teenage year, because I was 19, and I've been playing on and off, and it's just become a part of who I am to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that I have, well, first of all, family around me that really enjoys it, and then great group of friends that actually enjoy it as well. And look, even extended group of friends that we've made through this little rink-a-dink brand that we're so freaking proud of. I mean, think about some of the amazing people we've met, like just even hosting like little get-togethers. Our first event was a get-together at Simi Hills.
20 deep.
Yeah, and we had Manny coming all the way out from, was it the Whittier area, if I remember correctly?
Yep.
The guys, Vic.
Oh,
Victor,
shout out Vic Cedeno. Shout out, bro.
Vic Cedeno.
My boy Cruz coming out.
Oh,
Cruz.
Dude, Cruzy baby, who used to be a
Nelson,
baseball
bro.
player. Nelson, Tacos at the turn.
Yeah, Tacos at the
brother coming
turn.
out.
Yeah.
The boys have Golf Atos, Juan, Machete, all those guys. Like, we wouldn't have never met them. And it's kind of interesting because we kind of dabble in the same neighborhoods. We kind of dabble in the same areas. I mean, without a doubt, in the same now world of golf and now golf brands.
Yeah.
But that's one of the beautiful things about this. If there was a blessing in the curse of that was the, pandemic, being locked down, and first thing to open up, at least out in LA, was the golf courses. It was kind of interesting. It was
and it was
catch
not
22.
just that. It was they opened up, and I was still like fresh out of trying to play, and me and Raul were driving out to San Diego in about an hour 20 minutes with no traffic just to get out there, just to get to play a
those are
couple
the
rounds.
days,
Well, dude, come on. That wasn't even an hour, 20 minutes. We were making it to San Diego like in 45 to an hour because there was no traffic.
Took me 2 hours today to get up here.
Yeah. But those are the kind of the nice things about it, and it all comes down to a Sarape golf towel that Hector said, like, hey, you know what, I could do better.
Yeah.
And look, by no stretch of the imagination, we're saying we're the OGs when it comes to the game. Like, the first one I ever saw wasn't even real Sarape. It was the Sarape print, Scotty Cameron.
Right.
I don't know if there was anybody out there that made it, but I can say this: we, without a doubt, if it wasn't for Hector, we wouldn't have a differentiator in our towel per se.
Yeah.
Hector was the one that really took it up a notch and takes pride in what he did, and I'm super stoked for that. And that was just the entry point into everything else we're doing.
Yeah. We got to say we're super proud of having Hex on our team, and I mean, like you said, a brother from another mother. Like, for me, like you said, I hadn't met Hex before, and first time out at El Carrizo, I met him, and it was like instant connection. Not to sound cheesy or cliche, but I was like, okay, I can see why Raul, hangs out with him and why he's a homie and stuff like that. And then, yeah, dude, he's a total mad scientist. Everything that we put out, huge stamp by Hex.
Well, dude, he's he's definitely one of those guys that you can say if he was born in a different era, this would be like a Da Vinci type of guy. Yeah. Like, look, just go to San Fernando Brewery. Shout out San Fernando Brewery, by the way. One of the local brews out here. But anybody that goes to San Fernando Brewery and checks out those chandeliers that are made out of beer bottles, that's Hex. The guy will do insane things. Very artsy, very craftsy, very hands-on. And that's the great thing. Like, I mean, even before he started with the golf towel, I remember once we were golfing, he was kind of pissed off because his sewing machine had broken. And I was like, bro, if I didn't know you so well, that just sounds so bizarre.
Yep.
But I knew why he was kind of pissed off. He was prototyping at that time the aprons he was working on.
The aprons, okay.
And he was upset that he needed something with a little bit more horsepower to really try to have that industrial type of material. But it's just weird because look, Hex is not a small guy by any stretch of the imagination. He was a linebacker back in high school, solid guy. And all of a sudden he's talking about like, man, I'm so freaking pissed off this week. My sewing machine broke. It's always an interesting take, man. But look, try to say something about him not knowing how to use a sewing machine. He'll take that to heart.
Yeah. Dude, that's freaking hilarious, man. Yeah, we miss you on this episode, Hex. So we're gonna cheers to you on that one. We'll take a little moment here. But I kind of want to dive back right now to something that, we've been doing this. So we were kind of talking about this recently, and I keep saying 2 years, but you corrected me in our conversation, Raul. We're on what year now?
Well, officially as a brand, like if you want to be legit, we got the documentation in, we started paying our taxes and everything. This May will be 4 years. May will be 4 years.
I was gonna say 3 years, but
no,
okay,
2024, man. I mean, like, look, honestly, post-COVID years have been flying for everybody, I believe, in the world. But as a brand, it will be our 4th year as an official business. But this concept started, like I said, in early 2019, late 2018. That's when Hex was already, experimenting with things. We were already rocking the towel with the first iteration of the leather design we had on there in our bags. So it's been a while. If anything, the fortunate thing, like I said, the silver linings to the pandemic was that gave us a little bit of time where we were able to finalize our business plan. We were able to finalize our business model, become the incorporation that we are. And we made everything legit. It really was like, all right, well, there's no turning back. So again, blessing in disguise, but the groundwork was already there. That's why it made it easy for us to kind of launch as a brand.
Yeah. And like I said, for me, meeting Hex and you talking about it, we're out there on the golf course, which, by the way, guys, if you're not into golf, most business is handled on the golf course.
No doubt.
Though we're family, He's like, hey, come up.
And from what I've heard, a strip club too out in Dallas.
Whoa, take it easy.
This guy.
This is a family show.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so for me, yeah, we're out there on the golf course, meeting Hex, talking business, talking shop. And like Raul said, I wanted to get into the social media space. By the way, social media was not my thing. I was that guy that like never posted, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Like the good guys. I saw Garrett when he was barely starting out his channel, when it was GM Golf. And I was like, dude, why isn't there someone in the brown space doing that? And that's kind of where I talked to Raul, and Raul was like, well, bro, look, we're starting this brand that's geared towards taking a piece of our culture, the Sarape golf towel, and throwing it out there to add that extra spice, that extra flavor in the golf game. And I was like, dude, that's it. We need to do that.
Yeah, I think honestly it was a gateway for us. We're proud of what we produced in the golf towel there, but
It's become bigger, bro.
Well, without a doubt. But I think
bigger.
I honestly it wasn't like a lot of convincing I had to do for Hex, because Hex was always
Hex is always about trying to create something.
yeah,
honestly.
he's a creator. But my thing
he
was
works
like,
with
bro,
his hands.
let's do something with this outside of just having fucking awesome golf towels on our bag.
Yeah.
And I was kind of the one that sold him on the idea. I mean, I've always been,
And kind of like to your point, Raul, it's like people started seeing it on our bags, and they were like, shit, those are really cool. And I think that's what gave Hex like a lot of motivation to be like, oh shit, this can I can keep working on this and try to do, something good with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an easy sell for me to convince him, like, hey, let's start a business. Because we had already talked about, what was the next business? Because Hex has always owned and operated businesses. I've always had side hustles and stuff like that as well. And it was like, all right, what's next for us, dude? And that was an easy sell because he saw what was going on. And look, man, if you could spend more time on a golf course and call it a business transaction, why the heck not?
Oh, yeah.
But, getting the love and support, honestly, natural, native, we didn't even have a social media page. Like, I started the social media
TikTok now, bro.
I know you mentioned that last time, and I was like, "El TikTok." I didn't even know.
I had no idea.
I didn't even know we had that.
Estamos juntando con China. No,
Yeah, dude. Like, honestly, like the only reason I had saved the Los Golferos Instagram was like, oh, you never know, something might pop out of this. But it wasn't until you really kind of came into the picture, and dude, that's why since day one, and I'll reiterate this. You're the chief marketing officer. This is your baby. You're the one that's created this social media following to the brand, which without it, I mean, like, would we be efficient? Probably. Would we be effective? Not as much as we are. I mean, like, if it wasn't for all the social media that you really put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, I don't think we do it as a brand, not to the scope that we've done.
I appreciate that, bro.
So it's been massive. And look, it's time consuming as heck. I see how many hours you put into it. A lot of people are like, dude, doesn't Ralph work? He does that on top of his work, ladies and gentlemen that are seeing this. Lisa, we love you. I hope you don't divorce him because of a golf course.
Shout out to my wife. I love you, babe.
But look, even some of the guys at some of the companies I've worked at, and I tell them like, yeah, my side hustle is Los Golferos. And they start following them. They're like, dude, does your cousin ever work? He's always at a golf course. And that's become the tale. But look, a lot of people don't understand. You have your 9 to 5 that you turn to a 6 to 3 or a 6 to 4 so you can get some daylight and get some golf in. So you are putting some mad work into it, man. It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
I appreciate that, brother. I really do. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a passion, guys. And it's with every business, there's risk. There's that fear. Like, are we going to do it? Like, can we do this? So don't think, guys, that we did this and we're like, yeah, we're going to throw some money at it. We're going to throw some time at it. And yeah, it's going to happen. No, there's definitely a lot of risk into it, but
not just the risk. I mean, me personally, like, there's a lot of sacrifice into it too, because my I have a lot of passions outside of this, but there's
Right.
a lot of stuff like, we have events that we're invited to, and my friends are like, hey, when are you gonna I'm a gamer, huge gamer, and they're all like, what's going on? Are we gonna like hang out tonight? I'm like, you know what? I gotta wake up early, sorry. And they're like, all right, I guess I understand. But to me, it's like, I want to be there for the events. I want to like keep working on on this brand.
Exactly,
And it's a lot of time that we have to put into the brand.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was kind of steering to is like the risk, the fear of failure is there, but dude, it's totally worth it. Like, guys, these past few years, wouldn't you say we've done some pretty cool shit that we didn't think we'd ever do?
Oh, for sure,
without a doubt. And without a doubt, it has been a risk, but it's been a calculated risk. And some of the people we've even met, they're like, "Oh, when are you guys gonna do this? When are you guys gonna do that?" And I'm a bit pragmatic when it comes to business. It's helped out a lot with some of the business decisions I've made in my life, where it's like, hey, we're not going to just jump into anything for the sake of jumping into it. Everything has been a calculated risk to a certain extent. So we also hedge our bets. Could we have gone the route of some other brands and just start throwing stuff after stuff after stuff? Probably. And that kind of brings it to what you said. Just throw money to the problem and I hope it fixes it.
Yeah.
Versus like, hey, look, we're going to put limited batches of towels, and if you get one, freaking amazing. We love you for it, and they're going to sell out.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I think to what you're saying is what I appreciate about that is that there's a lot of research that goes into, bringing out the hats, bringing out the sweaters. We're not just throwing money into whatever we see and then like giving you shitty products. Basically, we're like Raul is doing a lot of the research into the companies that we're partnering up with, or just buying stuff off of them to get these products off of them. They're not going to be shitty things, but that takes a lot of time to do. That takes a shit ton of time to research.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like we listen to you guys. We're gonna do what's to the best of our ability, and we're gonna give you a quality product, what we believe is a quality product. Like day one towel that Hex has produced, it's still the same towel we produced today. We've just made some tweaks, some modifications, but
well, and we've gotten lucky, and we're working with some awesome vendors. I mean, like, look, at the end of the day, we have to work with partners as well, and even our Sarape textile connection. I mean, we've gotten some unique colors that. No, I mean, who's really seen a white and purple or white and pink or gray and pink sarapes?
Yeah.
One of the call outs was like, hey,
Surge's pink towel.
Yeah. And look,
behind, man.
Look, freaking Dom has one out in Minnesota. He has the purple and white one.
Shout out Dom, rocking the pink sarape towel in
rocking
Minnesota.
The pink sarape towel out there. And who is it? Derek? Did he get the purple and white one? I know there was a purple and white one
I believe
out there
he
as well.
does, yeah.
So look, it was again calculated risk. Like, who really wants a white and purple sarape? Like, let's give it a try. And that came because of some of our loyal followers. We had some followers of ours that are female golfers, and they're like, well, that's cool, but when are we going to see some purples? When are we going to see some pinks? When are we going to see some baby blues? The baby blue one, that was an insane towel, sold out like in seconds. I was surprised. I was like, holy crap.
We need to go back and like run a poll on that. Was it more the lowrider guys that bought that one, or
I don't know, man? But we got a lot of love.
Female counterparts.
We got a lot of love for those one-off.
We definitely did.
Colorways. And look, I to a certain extent, I do like to appease all of our fellow golfers, golferos, and loyalists to the brands, but we are going to come out with some one-offs, and once it's done, it's done. I think the biggest hit. I mean, I'm an LA native, Serge, LA native. You born in San Diego, but heart in LA.
Yep.
I think one of the proudest moments to me was our 24 and 8 towel.
Yup.
Look, if it wasn't for that towel, we wouldn't have met Eric.
Shout out to the Hopped On.
The Hopped On. That 24 and 8 towel, Black Mamba towel that we created was our first limited edition towel. And like to this date, those pictures are still around of that towel, and people are still hitting us up like, when are you guys going to restock it? Not going to be restocked.
That's probably not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. It's I don't want to be one of those brands that tries to overhype things, but there's certain things that are going to be limited releases, limited batches, because.
And we're not going to upcharge.
No.
It's limited, it's attainable, it's accessible, and if you get it, you got it. And that's it. Yeah.
And we've done that with a couple things. We've done it with the Black Mamba. We
the
just
Masters towel.
with the Master towels, El Caddy. I mean, people are still asking, like, what are you guys having other master ones? And that's where we have to work out with our textile producers and see what they can feasibly put together. But stuff like that, we take pride in it. And I look, the best thing is that we get the response from all our fellow golferos out there, that they jump on those things, that they really like it. But the Los Maestros edition, hint hint, wink wink, stay tuned, was amazing. And again, it kind of goes back to where we are, where we try to be true to ourselves as much as we possibly can. So we've gotten massive love for our amazing El Golfero logo that we're all rocking on our hats and our hoodies now. But look, that was tried and true to who we are and our roots. Our artist, our partner, honestly, not even just an artist, Jacobo, he's based out of Mexico City, DF. Shout out DF, all the golferos from DF. And we wanted to work on a piece of art. We didn't want a freaking brand. A brand logo. We didn't just want some Mickey Mouse type of thing. We wanted something that meant something to us. Jacobo and I had some great exchanges via email versus team calls. He got the vibe we were going for, and his mindset.
I think he got it first try, didn't he?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
his first mindset was like, "Say less, bro. I got you." And he came back with it. And I remember when I got the files, and I'm like, "Dude, you got to jump on this call." And you're like, "I wasn't expecting that one."
Yeah.
We didn't really know what to expect, because he really just picked my brain, and then he ran with it, and I kind of ran it by you just to make sure we were all on the same page, ran it by Serge. But once we got it, and he gave us really the story behind it, and it aligned to everything we were looking for. We wanted to be true to our roots. We didn't want it to be cheesy. We didn't want it to be stereotypical, like, guy with the sombrero type of thing. Like, hey, nothing wrong with that. But let's bring it back to where we're proud of. And it's like, it falls into our mindset of, we're all guerreros in a certain way. I mean, we all do it in a different way, whether you're a weekend warrior type of thing out in the golf course. Guys that are doing their grind every single day, I think it resonates with a lot of people outside of just golf.
Yeah.
Like, dude, last time, what was it, a while back, we threw that carne asada, and you went and picked up meat at the carniceria.
Yeah.
Carniceros, really down guys, La Consentida, really freaking awesome carniceria out in Lakeview Terrace.
Yeah.
And they were just all over the logo.
Dude, that's what's insane. And it's like, what's really sort of I find special is, we're Mexican Americans, guys. We're born and raised in Southern California, and we're taking a piece of our heritage in the golf course. We came, which I feel personally, we came from this old school upbringing, and we're evolving it. We're taking the good pieces from that upbringing, and we're moving it forward. And that's why we pay homage, and why we have this Guerrero, because we feel that it encompasses kind of the good that we have from our culture. So to Raul's point, when I go out in public and people see the Guerrero and they see what we're doing at Los Golferos and stuff like that, they don't even golf. And they're just like, dude, that is freaking sick. Like, I need that.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because the last time I was golfing at Carrizo, I was playing with one other guy, and Weddle, just super Weddle, and he was just like, like, what do you do? I like the logo, and so I was like, yeah, I was trying to kind of telling him about our stuff, and he's like, you know what? My wife would love that logo. My wife would love that hat. And I was like, oh, is she a golfer? She's like, no.
But she
But
thinks that's sick, though.
She would love that hat, though.
well, dude, I always take Los Golferos piece of merch with me anywhere I travel to. I travel for work, and you guys I brought this story up to you guys when I was going through, the Spanish version of TSA in Barcelona. TSA agent, or their agent, stops me. I'm like, oh, dude, what the hell did I do? And he's like,
To
oh,
the
man.
back room.
Yeah, no, dude. I was kind of cringing to see the latex glove snap. But no, he stopped me just to talk about my hat, and he was telling me that golf is becoming more accessible in Barcelona.
That's cool.
So that's freaking awesome. Like, at first he thought I didn't know how to speak Spanish, and we're talking to him. He was trying to talk to me in English, and I was like, oh, we started talking to him in Spanish, the brand, and he was like, oh, well, let me follow you guys. So proud to say you got a social media follower in Spain now, Ralph.
There we go.
We keep on growing.
Saludos a España.
Saludos Barcelona. I think his name was Jordy. Jordy, if you're following it, man, shout out to you, brother.
Hey,
but
there
yeah, super cool guy. Spoke for a couple minutes. I'm like, oh, I gotta run because I might miss my flight. but yeah, that's a kind of thing. Like, I think it, in my personal opinion, it is a brand logo, if you want to call it that. To me, it's a whole lot more that I can say that brings pride. It's not just another logo. It brings pride when you're rocking it, on or off the course, and that's something I'm proud of. It translates on or off the course. So,
100%, bro, 100%. And I kind of want to touch on something, and you probably didn't even notice it, but you said his name was Jordi. Jordi. So, guys, I think that kind of just speaks to the kind of company that we are too, because we're not going to remember everybody's name. And I'm not saying this in a kind of pretentious way, but we've started going to a lot of events. We've run into a lot of people, but we're still the average Joes. We're still the average golfers. So whoever we meet, we will do our best.
Well, dude, let's be honest. We have absolutely no reason to not be the average golfer. I haven't seen us play, bro.
No, yeah.
If you follow our live videos, you will know why.
Oh yeah, exactly. But no, I think that's really cool that you remember Jordi and you were like, hey, like, let's give him a shout out on the podcast.
Well, dude, I mean, I think of it right now. Between you, Sergio, and myself, we could probably run down at least a list of a couple hundred people that we've met in these events.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and some of them we've even given nicknames to, like as the Golf Don.
Golf Don.
Ernie
Ernie Valtierra. Shout out
Valtierra. Majestic tournaments. Like we've had some amazing people. El Tocayo Ralph with you, who was a big help with the Heart of Gold Foundation.
The Young and Heart
and the Heart of Gold. Both of them.
Both of them.
But Eddie, all those guys, all the boys over at Raza Golf, Ruben. I mean, like, look, we've met some amazing people, and there's a reason why I remember their name. They have also been part of, like, how can we help you community.
Yes.
I that was the one thing that I loved about a Latino golf community. It hasn't been one of those like, oh, dude, this guy is trying to make something else. Look, we've even had some other brands that have had similar products. Look at Stogies and Bogies.
Yeah. They have their cigar holder, and this year, thankfully we got to collab with Desert Fox Golf, and we have our cigar holder. And hey, shout out Jesse. Dude, we posted the first time about that, and he goes, "You trying to buy my idea or what?"
And the funny thing, shout out Jesse without a doubt. And the funniest thing, that was me. I don't do much of the social media, but that day Ralph was not in town. And it was a 2-part video. So I guess Jesse only saw part one of it. But dude, if you are a cigar aficionado or a cigar smoker on the golf course and you don't have a Stogies and Bogies cigar holder,
get one yesterday.
Do you really even know cigars, bro?
Yeah, bro, get one.
Look, it's a must. It's a must. I cannot have a golf bag without that cigar holder. So it was just hilarious. And I know he was busting our chops. But just little things like that. I don't think we've ever had somebody that straight out hated on the brand.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not the first ones to have a freaking Latino-inspired golf hat.
Yeah, no.
We're not the first ones to have these type of things, but we're a little bit different than some of the other players that are out there, if you will. And we've got nothing but love.
And it's been nothing but love, and it's been nothing but like support from a lot of these people that we're. Anytime we're out at a golf course, somebody's always like, "Oh shit, I love what you're doing. What can we do to help you out? Or how can we keep on supporting what you're doing?"
And I got to give you a big shout out, Serge. So, Raul is the CEO of our company. The kind of the initial social media of it all was kind of me and him, because if you haven't noticed, Raul's a talker. I'm a talker. So, Serge, I know you're kind of hanging out over here, and it's like we got to give him some shine and some love. But I got to give Serge a big
I'm not a talker. I'm like the person in the background, man. It's just not me.
You're a big support, bro. And I got to give you a huge shout out because so we were doing an event last year. Only Golfers. Shout out Only Golfers. We're going to do a lot of shout outs.
The Ernies.
We were at Anaheim Hills, and we're doing our thing. I'm interacting with the Ernies. We're trying to get everything set up for the day. And Serge, though he's not the most talkative one, or, he's not at the forefront of things, kind of being the face of things, the events coordinator. Shout out Angie. We love you, Angie.
Thank you, Angie.
Love you, Angie.
Love you, Angie. We'll be at Anaheim Hills soon for an episode, so stay tuned for that. But I was kind of doing my thing, as Raul said, doing the social media, kind of being out front. I wasn't really at the booth, but Serge still, like he said, he's dedicated to being there, putting in that time, putting in that work and that grind. Took the time to talk to Angie, made that relationship, and now I'm messaging Angie like I think once a week. Girl, if you're tired of me, you just let me know. Like, but it's stuff like that where it's not just one person. So Raul gives me a lot of credit saying that, hey, I am the face on social media and things like that. But it takes a village, and this is my village. This is my family. And that's ultimately what I love about this is why I keep doing this is because I am working with my family. You know, Raul is my cousin through marriage, but you ask anybody I've introduced him to, he's my cousin. Serge is literal blood cousin, but you know, I just call you my cousin. Yeah. But you know, we've said Hex is a brother from another mother. Louis, cabron, I love you wherever you're at right now. But it's all family.
There's always a reason.
There's always a reason.
But look, and it's kind of an interesting point you bring that up because you know some of the things that that Hex has talked about, like you know him and I golfing for quite some time now. Like we've seen some things on golf courses.
We've seen and heard some things.
We've seen some things. We've heard some
Last
things.
weekend was something interesting.
So look, I hate to say this, but being a Latino golfer, chances are you've seen a side eye or two.
Yeah,
and we've heard the stories.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
We've heard the stories. Ruben from Raza tells us. Sergio from Mexicans Golf too.
Yep.
Hell, there's a reason why his name of his organization is Mexican Golf too.
Yeah.
Like we've all seen some stuff, and we're over that. Like, look, whether you like it or not, we're gonna be on a golf course, and whether you like it or not, in some cases, we're gonna have better golfers than you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I shouldn't say you guys, but look, let's be honest. You know, whether you like it or not,
coming.
We're
coming.
there. Look, we're not coming. We've been there. We're just coming out of the woodwork. Like Latinos in golf, we're like, oh yeah, those are the groundskeepers. Shout out to all the groundskeepers that are keeping our courses looking the way they do. Respect the damn golf course. Fix your divots. Do your due diligence. But look, that was the classic stereotype. Like, oh yeah, Latino on a golf course. Yeah, he must be part of the maintenance crew.
He must be out there with his weed whacker.
Yeah. So, I want to come back to you, Serge, and give you a moment to speak. I'm sorry that we've kind of commandeered the conversation.
No, not at all. I'm okay with it. I love listening to the stories. You know, it's something that, well, like I said, I'm just not a talker. You know, especially when it comes to shit like this, it's just not my jam.
I get that, but also at the same time, so guys, I have a little brother. His name's Jaime, and I think you and Jaime are very similar in the sense that you guys are quiet and kind of sit back, but when you sit back, you see a lot. And so, from your perspective, kind of sitting back these past few years, going to stuff like that, what are you most proud of, like that you've seen come out of this brand?
Going back to with what Raul was saying is meeting the people. You know, even though I'm like not like there on the social media, I'm still like enjoying like talking to all the people that we've met. Anybody from like the Golf Vatos, you know, and Nelson, you know, all these people that just come along with going out to the course, and everybody kind of communal, and you know, being there, you get to know and talk to some of these people, and it's been fun, and I hope we keep on doing that. It's meeting new people. When we were out playing our last event for the shoot at Anaheim, was it Anaheim Hills? Heart of Gold. No, it was in Anaheim. It was in Anaheim, but right? It wasn't Anaheim Hills. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So, and we're talking to Donald from King.
That was our event. Yeah, Young and Heart Foundation. Swing for Hope 2 coming soon, guys. But yeah, Swing for Hope.
That was Dos Lagos, dude.
Yeah, Dos Lagos.
You could have been a little too tipsy, but
maybe
guys, we love to have a drink. So
honor off the course.
But when we were out there, me and Raul were just like just doing our own thing, and then we came across him, and we were there for like a good 40 minutes just talking to him, you know, and just getting to know him, great person, and it's
Great
great
person.
to,
Great
just
person.
great to like come across people like that we just randomly come across, talk to, and then we'll be there for like an hour, and everybody's trying to push it, keep moving the game.
But you're having a great
But
conversation.
we're having a
you're
great
like, yeah.
conversation. You just can't stop it, So it's
Yeah.
things like that I really enjoy.
That's cool. So that's definitely what you're proud of, which I would definitely agree with you. What would you step back and say has been the coolest moment? So there's definitely things that you're proud of, but what is like one moment where like we're out there doing something, you're like, are we really doing this right now? Like,
it was just us three. We were playing at Martin during the Martin Luther King day off.
mhm.
Don't remember if it's Sunday or Monday or whatever, but we were out. Huge storm, and we're just like, screw it, let's keep on playing. Let's keep
Oh,
on doing
yeah.
it. We're getting fucking
Hands and
soaked
Dam?
up there. Yep,
Yeah.
hands and dam. And then as soon as the rain stopped, the day became very beautiful, and we just kept on going.
Yeah.
Even though I kind of wanted to give it up for a moment there, but I'm glad
These two
I did
do
it.
not like getting wet.
I'm so
Dude, there's a
glad.
difference between getting wet
That was-
and when you're like you're splashing inside your shoes.
That was
I'll swim through a
Hey,
golf round.
No,
freaking-
bro. If it ain't freaking Oregon in Bandon Dunes, it ain't worth it, bro. If it's Bandon Dunes and you drop that much cash, yeah, you're gonna run through it. That's not a problem. But
Hey, shout out Buena Gente. They just went to Bandon, and we're trying to link up, bro. So we need to get out to Bandon. I saw you just went.
yeah,
But
so
but going back to it, man, honestly, there's too many moments. I mean, we were in San Jose. We took a trip out
That
there.
was
to
really
San Jose.
Shindig.
That was fun.
Shindig. That was
Yeah,
really cool.
that was fun. Met a lot of good people out there. And there's just been a lot of good moments that.
Yeah.
How do you pick? How do
Yeah.
you pick?
Shindig is without a freaking doubt definitely one of the highlights of last year.
Oh yeah.
The guys with Artichoke,
Oh yeah. Big choke.
Big Choke.
Big choke. Yeah.
Big Choke Golf.
Those guys were
amazing
hilarious,
Oh
bro.
man, they were awesome.
Bro,
Really
tell that story about when we got stuck on that par 4 and it just turned into like a house party.
Oh,
It was like a Valley house party, bro.
I mean, like we were already about ready to wrap our freaking round because of the shotgun start. But that was rather interesting. I mean, like, and then of course we had to go represent with the one and only La Cheve. Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out Blue
Blue
Fire.
Fire.
There, good Blue
Chevy.
Fire.
Coming soon, guys. Coming soon. Round
And
3.
a new batch coming out. And we took El Caballito keg. We took the pony keg with us to San Jose, and
There we are underneath the table trying to pour the.
oh, dude, nobody cared that it was there, man. Everybody was loving it.
Allegations? We did not take a keg. Yeah,
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We were proud of it.
We were so proud.
We were proud of that shit. I know there's plenty of evidence out there.
Oh, yeah.
But no, we had an amazing time. Guys over from oh man, I'm totally afraid of Beard. It's his crew.
Oh yeah, Sucker Pin.
Sucker Pin.
Yeah, Sucker Pin.
Beard was freaking awesome to golf with, hang around with, right there in that little fiesta hole that we turned in. Everybody was just parked. It was a parking lot, and we are just like, hey, bring out more beer.
It's like 20 deep, guys.
yeah,
It's
and
20 deep easily.
Look, for those people they're complaining about golf courses getting too overjammed, just be with the right people, man. Enjoy it. You're outdoors, have fun. But yeah, no, the Shindig was an amazing event. Odin Golf, Safe Park podcast, Sucker Pin, Duffin guys.
Duffin.
As long as we didn't talk about Celtics Lakers, we were good. But yeah, we had an amazing time out there, meeting some amazing people, man, that are like-minded when it comes to it. And here's the crazy part. It's like-minded in the golf ambiance, if you will. I mean, like, we keep on talking about how we're doing things for our community. But look, there's a counterculture, if you will, that's going on to the golf world. And you have brands like Odin Golf where it's like, hey, look, we're going to give you a quality golf ball. You don't have to spend, $45-$50 on a box of golf balls.
You don't want my pinky, bro?
And look, and everybody says they like the way a Pro V1 feels. Like, dude, most people, if you were to remove those tags, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
But that counterculture that's going on with some of these different brands, some of these different golf groups out there, don't matter if you're brown, white, yellow, blue, or anything in between.
Mm-hmm.
There's a different vibe in a golf course now. And look, let's not get waste management off the rails.
Oh, that was bad, bro.
That was pretty crazy.
But let's
Shout out Zach Johnson.
But look, there's a more inclusive game going on. That's the
Yeah.
one thing I love about it. And us to have a little freaking grain of salt into a more inclusive game is something I would say I'm proud of.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So I'm gonna ask the same question to you, Raul. I'll start off with what are you most proud of that we've done as a brand? I know you kind of talked about some of the fun events and things we've done, but like if you got to think back, what's that moment like? Man, I'm so glad we were able to get that done.
Dude, I mean, that's kind of the infamous, what's your favorite child to a parent? And me being a parent of two, you
While your
can't.
two kids are like right there listening.
I have my favorite son and I have my favorite daughter. But
so
look,
easy.
but it's honestly, it's just taking something that we were doing for shits and giggles to have a unique accessory to our golf bag, and so many people all of a sudden supporting us. I mean, like, as I mentioned, we've sold towels to Australia. There's a Los Golferos golf towel in Australia. That was a freaking awesome moment where somebody said, like, hey, are you willing to ship to Australia via Instagram? I was like,
You want to pay for the shipping?
Which wasn't that bad.
My goal is to get it to the foods in Japan, man.
Hey,
Oh yeah, hey,
well,
shout out Japan with the cholo culture.
hey, man, just take plenty of coronas.
Yeah.
But little things like that. I can't pinpoint one. It's too challenging. But having the reach we've gotten, the amazing people that we've met, amazing friendships. I would consider them friends. That we've had. I mean, like, come on, literally, we were freaking in a house with Nelson and the Hop Don and all that stuff.
And Frankie.
Frankie, awesome cat.
Yeah,
And I think about it, these guys were complete freaking strangers. We had Lalo with Nueve Golf inviting us to his home course. Like, the guy had
Shout out Lalo. Lay low, baby.
lay low, baby. But dude, the guy knew us on Instagram. That was real bad. He's like, "Oh, come over, let's golf at my home course," and had an amazing time with him and Johnny.
He sent us, man. That was a beautiful golf course.
Yeah,
I gotta say that was great. That
had
was
a
fun.
great time out there in San
Shout out
Jose.
Johnny too. They was out there with Lalo, man.
Yep, his cousin. But things like that. I mean, like I said, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. But some of the amazing people. I mean, like, meeting Nelson Tacos at the Turn, where he was trying to get a free golf towel from us in that little contest we had going on, and
we're gonna have to reshare that video because
we have it somewhere.
he went all out.
Little did he know that was a prototype of something we still have in the archives.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, good. Then you'll be surprised when something pops. But things like that, man. Those are the things that I'm proud of, and the stories that we hear from them. Like talking to Juan Golvatos and Machete about their upbringing. I mean, they're fucking golf course brats, essentially.
Yep.
And some of the stuff they went through because of, their appearance in a golf course in Simi Valley. Those are some crazy things. And
they still show up dressing like the homies, but they're gonna outshoot you like no other.
Well, and you might remember this because first time we met Machete was at our golf event in Alhambra, and I saw him come through, and I'm like, you want to know who's gonna win the tournament? That guy.
We hadn't even said hi to him, and Raul was just like, that's the winner.
Yep. Dude, guy showed up in freaking Vans. And I was like, dude, if you show up to a golf event in Vans, either you have no clue what you're doing or you know exactly what you're doing and you're going to butcher everybody. And he did the latter. Yeah, it wasn't even close.
If I remember correctly, I think every par 5 at Alhambra, he had an eagle look. Not saying he got eagles on all of them, but he had an eagle look.
Well, I mean, when you're hitting the freaking ball at 310, 315, 325, you swear.
What idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me leave it 50 yards short on a par 5 at Alhambra or a par 4 at Alhambra. Yeah, you swear you're not. But those type of things, those are the ones that I'm really proud of. Not just as a brand, but just kind of the little group that we've kind of established.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Definitely. And so kind of also what I asked to Serge, what do you think is the coolest moment? Like the one personal little selfish moment you're like, man, that's awesome.
Again, too many, but getting, especially because some of the hard work you've done, and getting some recognition from it for like brands like Asher, when you're like, Asher wants to talk to us about how can we do something. That was really cool. And it was funny because you hit me up while we were at a golf course. We were out at the Bell. I was with Sergio and my kid Ian. And then you called me up. You're like, bro, you ain't going to believe this, but Asher Golf wants to know if we go do something with them. The guys over at Sunday Golf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, they've been super supportive.
Shout out Pat at Sunday.
Yep. Pat has been amazing since day one. now, some of the other brands that, you living in essentially the freaking mecca of golf in San Diego, especially in northern San Diego County, and getting people from TaylorMade, from Callaway, from Cobra, they're like, oh man, you guys have something there.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely a proud moment when people that work for these, kingpins of the golf industry saying like, well, you guys got something special going on there. It's a really good freaking feeling.
Yeah, definitely. I would. So I'm gonna give you guys my answers, and I definitely would piggyback off that. Like I would say that I'm really proud of the golf community that we've developed on and off the golf course. I have people who, like you said earlier, they see the logo, they see what we're doing, and people who primarily speak Spanish or Spanish is their first language, they go, "Oh, Los Golferos," and I'm like, "Yeah." And I start talking to them about it, and then it's like, "Oh, mira que bueno!" Like like they get a sense of pride. Like, hey, maybe I'm not into golf, but I know the next generation is kind of sticking their foot into these different realms and kind of giving some shine to the raza, and so that makes me really proud. So I'm really excited for that, and I'm proud of, like you said, you can't pinpoint just one exact thing, and it just makes me proud of what we've done in these past few years. But I would also definitely say that one of the coolest moments, guys, if you're watching the video of this, you'll notice I have a beer in hand, Serge has a beer in hand, Raul wanted something a little warmer, so he's got a little whiskey out here.
It's a little chilly, a little scotch. Never hurt anybody.
Chilly. Yeah. But we came out with our own beer, guys.
That was, dude. And how did that happen? If it wasn't for a certain golf towel, that connection never happens.
Exactly. So,
and then not just that, the towel or just the beer alone, but we're kids from the '80s. Seeing that logo on it,
our He-Man Golfero.
Hey, look, and thank you for bringing that up, Serge, because that again goes back to our roots. And look, a lot of people are like, oh well, you guys are Mexicans, and there are a lot of green, white, and red. And no, it's about the Latino community, period. I don't care where you're from. You can be of El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Costa Rica, anywhere in between, or even down south. Our artists that we work with, and this is kind of my MO. I will be honest. Mm-hmm. I want to work with the Latino community, and that designer who worked on our logo is Argentinian. Mm-hmm. And he was like, hey, you know what? I tried golfing. I'm not good at it. And I was like, hey, bro, what do you need? We'll freaking, we'll show you the ropes. And he took that logo to a whole different level. And if you have not checked out the La Cheve logo, go into our Instagram. You will see it there. And to Sergio's point, we grew up in the 80s and 90s. I mean, like, dude, if you're of a certain age, He-Man was part of your freaking daily life.
Oh yeah.
And we love the idea of having a Guerrero version of He-Man on a beer can.
That was so
freaking amazing.
That's for sure.
And we still have people say like, yeah, that's great. I don't drink. When are you guys gonna do something with it? Hey, look, believe it or not, there are some people that don't drink. We're not any of them, but hey, more power to you. I give you props because it's a lot harder not to drink than it is to drink.
Yeah.
But we have something cooking when it comes to the La Cheve logo appearing on a favorite piece of merch in a little while.
Definitely. So yeah, guys, that would be the thing that I think has been one of the coolest moments, and we'll get into that in later episodes. And that's really what we're gonna be diving into this podcast, giving you more perspective and talking to different people. So the last question I have to wrap up this podcast, guys, is we talked about what you're most proud of, what's the coolest thing, but we have to look forward. What's the next thing? So Serge, what do you want to see from Los Golferos? What is something you wish for, or what do you see something along the horizon where you're like, we got to go do that?
Oh man, that's honestly a difficult question because at the moment, in my eyes, we've kind of exceeded what our expectations were.
Yeah.
I think any of us kind of were, we all thought, okay, this is going to be something small, and we're just going to, see where it goes. But at the moment, it seems like it's grown a lot more than any of us thought it would. So to me, it's just like, I'm just excited for the next event. that we're invited to. You know, anytime we're invited to something, it's just exciting to know that people are thinking about our brand.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's very valid. I agree with you. It's definitely one of those things where it's like, dang, like we did this, we got here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raul, as our CEO, I'll pass the question off to you. Like, what do you see next for us, or what do you want out of us next?
Well, I mean, I would be lying if I didn't tell you that more growth is what I'm looking forward to. I mean, that's the business side. Of course, you start a business and you want it to continue to grow. And honestly, you want it to stay true to its original mission statement, which we created a very good mission statement in my belief. So without a doubt, so when it comes to business, continual growth, love to see that. But as far as, I mean, I always look more at the communal aspect of it. And, you know, one of the things that we've been hit up, and I know you've been hit up personally, like, hey, how do I get into the golf club? You know, we've never, we never said we were a golf club. If anything, we're the anti-golf club, if you will. We don't care. You don't need to pay dues. You don't need to do any of that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
some amazing
golf
golf clubs out there.
Shout out Los Compas. We'll be talking to them soon.
Dude, and that would be almost an anti-golf club. The way they do things, Rudy and the boys, amazing guys. And the funniest thing is that I kind of witnessed their inception because they started off a Facebook group that I was a part of, and I kind of saw it all start from there. So they do amazing things. There are some really amazing golf clubs. And if you're looking for a good one, Los Compas is definitely one you want to check 100%. Out. And of course, I mean, like one of the biggest name brand recognized one, Tropicana Golf. We have a couple of friends that are part of Tropicana.
Yep.
Raza, without a freaking doubt. Raza does some really great things. Like there's amazing golf clubs out there. But I mean, my thing is like, you want a good one? We can point you in the right direction. You just want to have golf and have fun? Let us know when you want to book a tee time.
Exactly.
We're always down for it.
Yeah.
But you never know that aspect. What's the next big tournament we're going to put together? What's the next big event that we're going to be able to be a part of? Sponsorships, all those different things. You know, Dom and Derek mentioned a little something going up in the Great North. So that's something to look forward to. We're definitely cooking some stuff in the laboratory. Hex is, being the Da Vinci that he is, and he's putting some finishing touches on some stuff. So there's a lot of good coming as a brand, as a product line, and as the golf community that we're trying to grow into. So again, I not sound super flaky. I can't pinpoint one. I just like what our future holds.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
Hopefully collaborating with a lot more of the different groups and brands that we've now become really close acquaintances with. I'm kind of looking forward to what might be cooking with a certain brand that you were talking with on a certain podcast about. That's always an interesting one. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and wrap it up, kind of my expectations and what I'm looking forward to. If you listen to our intro right before this, I like to call it episode 0. In there, I talk about kind of sharing our experiences, sharing our perspective, and bringing on different guests to kind of, broaden your horizons a little bit. And I think we've gotten to this point where we kind of owe it to our community to kind of share some more stories. So that's kind of my expectation for the brand and my expectation with the podcast. We're going to be bringing on different guests. Thus why we've been doing a whole bunch of shout outs, because we can't thank you guys enough. Anyone that has interacted or supported us, given us any type of shine, thank you guys so much. Like, we really, really appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah, even the ones that hated on us. You guys gave us even more motivation. And there's not too many, but the ones that did, thank you for the motivation. We love it.
Exactly. So yeah, my expectation is to continue to grow the brand, as Raul said, because it gives you guys kind of, I don't want to say something to look up to, but kind of some representation along with the other brands that are out there. But to also bring in like the homie El Cesar. He's going to be on an episode, and he's a financial advisor.
Tax season, ladies and gents. You guys need some professional help. Reach out to a boy El Cesar.
Yeah, exactly. And so you know, just coming from the background that we come from, as far as Mexican Americans, you know, my parents are second generation. Raul, correct me if I'm wrong, first generation, second generation. Yeah. So, kind of how I alluded to earlier, there's a lot of good traits that we take from our heritage, but there's some things that we kind of have to break and we have to learn from, and that's kind of what we want to do on this podcast: bring in that perspective, allow you to push beyond your boundaries, and try something different and take that risk like we did in starting a business. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, expanding this podcast to give you guys some perspective. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode 1. We got much more to come, and as always, salud, golferos.
Salud, golferos.